It's Cinemassacre's Monster Madness Godzillathon. Godzilla vs. Gigan. Oh boy, this one just tips the crap scale. It's a shitfest that has to be seen to be believed.
I think it stinks.
When it was released in the US, they changed the title to Godzilla on Monster Island, even though only a few seconds of the movie actually takes place on Monster Island. That's like calling Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom Indiana Jones in Shanghai. But even that's being generous. The plot concerns a comic book artist who's commissioned to work as a conceptual designer for a children's playground that's monster-themed. The main attraction is a tower that looks like Godzilla, but soon he finds out that this is the base for cockroaches from outer space, specifically the Space Hunter Nebula M who want to take over the world. Literally, they're cockroaches wearing human skin. The big drawback of this movie is that it takes a long time to get started. There's barely any monster action until at least 45 minutes in. Two jewels in outer space burst into flame and out come King Ghidorah and Gigan. It's like, thank God something's happening. Ghidorah looks really bad when he's flying. It looks like he's a stiff plastic model. If you're as big as a nerd as I am, you might be wondering how Ghidorah can be alive. Wasn't he killed at the end of Destroy All Monsters? Yeah, they stomped the shit out of him and put him in the ground. Well, you're even more of a nerd if you want to know the answer. Well, Destroy All Monsters took place in the future. This one we can assume is back in the present time, before Ghidorah was killed. So you might think including one of the best Godzilla villains would lift the presence of this awful movie, which he does, but lots of what we see is nothing but recycled footage from earlier Godzilla films. Even if the lighting doesn't match and that the Godzilla costume's different, it's shameless stock footage. At least we get to see Godzilla get blasted in the balls again. That's pretty funny. But let's talk about Gigan. For one of the worst Godzilla movies, he's actually one of the most interesting monsters ever seen. He's a weird thing. I don't even know how to describe it, but you can see for yourself. He's got metal hooks for hands and a buzzsaw on his chest. Oh, and by the way, the monsters are being controlled by the cockroaches. Oh, did you guess that already? Yeah, you're catching on. But the military sure doesn't catch on. When are they going to learn that planes can't kill giant monsters? It never worked before, so why would it work now? So Godzilla comes to save the day, and he brings with him sidekick Anguirus. And as if this movie hasn't already been pretty strange, the monsters start talking.
Something funny going on. You better check. Oh, yeah. Hey, Akira, come on. There's a lot of trouble ahead.
I have no clue what the hell they're saying, but I've heard that in the original Japanese version, you don't hear them speak. They're speech bubbles. Kind of fits the comic book theme, but what asshole decided that they needed to actually talk? The two monsters fight like a tag team match. Definitely the highlight of the film. But its repeated use of stock footage wears old, and so does the Godzilla costume. It's been used in so many films that you can actually see it falling apart. Look at the arms. I can deal with that, but would it have been too much trouble to keep the famous Godzilla roar from fucking up? You gotta be joking, what happened? Sounds like somebody playing with a record, and if that's not enough, Godzilla bleeds. Come on, Anguirus, don't step in the saw, you dumb shit. Oh, come on, was that necessary? Cause all the gratuitous bloodshed and swearing.
You're a hard bitch.
This one is a drastic change in pace from Godzilla's Revenge and Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. Is it for kids, adults, or people on drugs? Yeah, people on drugs. It's Cinemassacre's Monster Madness Godzillathon. Godzilla vs. Megalon, here we go. The poster shows Godzilla fighting Megalon on top of the World Trade Center, something that never happens in the movie. There's not even a single scene that takes place in New York City, so how the hell did they come up with that? Also, not to mention, it would be physically impossible given the size of the monsters. Sure, King Kong could do it, but Godzilla's taller than the building itself. The plot centers around a race of people living underground who look like seductive Ku Klux Klan members. What the fuck? The people of Earth, ground level Earth, are conducting all these nuclear bomb tests, but the underground people don't like this at all. In fact, it pisses them off. And they have a monster named Megalon, a giant bomb-spitting bug with drills for hands. And that's one mistake you don't want to make, pissing somebody off who has a monster. So rather than going up to the surface and saying, "Hey, we live downstairs, could you please stop with all the nuclear bombs? It's kinda loud." Instead, they send Megalon up there to throw a shit fit. Okay, that's a nice way to handle it. That's like if I had my TV turned up really loud and some neighbor that I didn't even know existed got real mad and sent their pet tiger in through my window. So there's a giant monster roaming around. They try taking it down with planes, tanks, and laser cannons. It doesn't work. What a surprise. Then Godzilla comes to save the day. Same old shit. But the one reason why this movie stands out from all the rest is because of Jet Jaguar, a flying robot that changes size. I don't even need to say any more. You look at him and just laugh. It probably comes as no surprise that the idea Jet Jaguar came from an elementary school student. No joke. They were having a contest for kids to submit their own robot superheroes, which was all a craze at the time, like Ultraman and Spectre-Man. Originally, Jet Jaguar was meant to be the star of the movie, but Godzilla was thrown in at the last minute because it would have more marquee value. Reputedly, the whole movie was filmed in only 3 weeks. No wonder, because there's so much stock footage. Jet Jaguar shows up and plays charades with Godzilla. Then, the two of them team up to fight Megalon. Outnumbered, the Toga people call the Space Hunter Nebula M to ask them to send Gigan over to help. That's convenient. It's like, "Hey, can I borrow your monster?" So, once again, it's 2 monsters against 2 in a final showdown. Godzilla fights like a boxer. Jet Jaguar gets his ass kicked. What do you expect? Megalon keeps spitting fire bombs. Look at this shot. And check it out again. It's like the same shot being repeated. Day and night switch drastically, and stock footage from Godzilla vs. Gigan is used over and over. There are some great moments though, like when Jet Jaguar throws Gigan into the air and Godzilla blasts him with his fiery breath. Then the best moment of all, a priceless gem of cinematic entertainment that defies any law of reality that could possibly exist. Everybody in the world needs to see this. Watch. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And they knew it was awesome because there's a replay. Yeah, you get to see the same shot twice. How does he do that? I guess it's all about the tail support. And to put an end to this overload of awesomeness, I'm going to leave you with the Jet Jaguar song.
Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar, yatta de Jaguar. Yuke yuke heiwa o mamoru tame, minna mo odoroku yuki o miseru. Godzilla to Jaguar de punch, 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 punch. 泣くな僕らも頑張ろう.
That's the meaning of life.